Paper books, ebooks, or audiobooks? What's the best reading medium? In this video, we're going to compare the three categories of reading: paper books, ebooks, and audiobooks. And we're going to compare them in three different aspects. The first one will be the feel, second one will be the cost, and the third one will be the speed. So let's jump into it. First, let's talk about paper books. These ones usually in terms of cost, since we buy book after book, it's usually around 10, 15, 20 pounds. Really depends on the type of books you're buying. Usually fiction books are less expensive than non-fiction books, and non-fiction books are less expensive than specialized books in mathematics, in geography, in science, and all of these things. For example, we have here an 11-pound book, The Daily Stoic, which I highly recommend. In terms of feel, everyone loves the feeling of a nice book. We like to feel the paper, we like the smell of it. And in terms of speed, it's one of the slowest way of reading, because usually a book, it's something that you enjoy. You don't have to rush into reading something. Usually for non-fiction, yes, it could be an option to go through it quickly or to go and skip a few chapters if you want to, but this applies to all the other mediums as well. Number two is ebooks. This one here is a Kindle. It's a paperwhite Kindle. So in terms of costs, it costs approximately $140, $150. Depends on which one you get. If you get an older version, it could be even a bit cheaper. I don't really recommend to go for the highest prices for Kindles, because there is not much addition to it. Just get one that has the size of a screen that makes you feel comfortable holding it even with one hand. In terms of feel, it's quite nice. The screen feels a bit different than a phone screen or a computer screen. It's made of an e-ink screen, so it gives you that vibe of a paper, even though it's not really true, but it gives you that sense. The luminosity in here is not powerful, so even if you read before bed, it's not as damaging to the eyes as reading on your phone or on a regular tablet. In terms of speed, this one is the same as a regular book. Depends on the pace that you read. If you read fast or you read slow. One of the big advantages of having an ebook is that you can remove everything in one device. Like a physical book, you need to have like a big bookshelf or a place where you can store your books, but here you can have everything just within one device, which is really cool, especially when you travel or you go somewhere and you don't know what book you want to read. You have everything in here. You can also highlight any paragraphs that you like, any ideas, and find them on the Kindle's website, for example, if you use Kindle. So yeah, that's one of the big advantages of reading on an ebook reader. A third one will be audiobooks, and that's one that I really love. Audiobooks really gave me the ability to read more. Obviously, you listen to audiobooks, but you can adapt to the speed. You can increase the speed if the narrator is quite slow. And also, if it's a non-fiction book, sometimes I go for 1.5 speed. Some people go for 2x speed and even more, but I tend to lose the important information when I speed up too much. So I go with the pace that I feel like it's comfortable enough, but still a bit speedy. Usually it's a minimum of 1.2x and 1.8x in between. And I find it to be the sweet spot for me so that I can still grasp the idea and also read the book a bit faster. And for me, transitioning to audiobooks or complementing them with my usual reading made me read 3 times more. So for example, for every book that I read physically, I usually listen to 3 audiobooks. Now that we've talked about the 3 devices and their feeling, the speed, and the cost, each one has their own and unique strength. And now I'll talk about the number one strength of each of these categories. If we talk about reading in a paper book, this one, the main advantage is the feeling of the book. Nothing can beat a nice feeling of the book, going through the pages, highlighting the key ideas, and just feeling that there is a companion with you. It's just something that nothing else can achieve. With the ebook, the ability to store all of your books and all of your PDFs and all of the documents that you have in one device is unbeatable as well. I'd rather have my Kindle with me or any other ebook reader with me for long travel than having to bring with me 10 different books and taking all of the storage place in my bag. For audiobooks, I think it's the ability to listen wherever I can. When I walk to the gym, when I go maybe to do some shopping, or if I'm just going out for a walk, I can listen to an audiobook. And usually I have more time to listen to something in between my daily tasks than just sitting and enjoying a nice book. Usually I read in the evening when I'm in my bed before sleep, but an audiobook I can do it in the morning on my way to doing something. If I want to go and do the groceries, if I'm going to tennis or to football or to the gym, or if I'm meeting someone and I have 1 hour to spare, and if I don't want to listen to music or something, I can go for an audiobook. So the audiobooks usually give me 3 times more speed to learn and listen to new stuff. I don't mean I speed up the audio 3 times, but I mean that I can achieve listening 3 times more than what I can read. What's interesting is that if you follow the cone of learning, you see that by reading, you only remember 10% of the information you read. But while listening, you remember usually 20% of the information that you listen to. So this gives you a very important indication of why don't you combine both approaches? You can read paper book, ebook, but also listen to audiobooks. Sometimes you can even combine them both, meaning you can listen to an audiobook and read it on your ebook reader. And that way you can combine the sense of listening with the sense of reading, and usually you get way more learning and information from this. Give it a try. If I had to choose one, which one would I choose? That's a tough question. My heart will always go for a physical book. I love the feeling of a paper. But if I had to choose one, it'll be somewhere between audiobooks and Kindle. Why is that? Because I can have a lot of books in one place. For example, audiobooks, I use Everand or Audible, and there I can have many books that I can listen to. And sometimes the narrators are really good. They really transport you, and it's a nice feeling of going on a walk and listening to something nice. And an ebook reader like a Kindle is my least favorite one in terms of feel, in terms of it's still screens, and I try to avoid screens while reading, but it has so many benefits to it. I can have some PDFs there, I can have some courses in there, I can have some books I'm interested in reading, I can highlight the information that is interesting. The only downsides are it's not usually color, it's black and white. Usually some of the new ones I think have color incorporated in them. It makes them have a nicer feel. Usually when you have visuals, you have graphics, you'd rather them to be colored than be black and white. You kind of miss the whole point. But you can have all your books and documents in one place, and that's something you can't really beat. So if I had to choose one, I'll go for an ebook reader. An ebook reader, I can have all my documents, all my highlights, everything in one place. But since I don't have to choose just one, I'll go for the 3. I love all the mediums. I read mostly paper book when I can. I switch to ebook reader if I don't have time and I want to start reading right away, I'll go on it. Or if I have some PDFs I want to take with me to prepare for a topic to talk about or a conference or whatever, I'll go for an ebook reader. And usually I'll listen to an audiobook while walking to the gym, to tennis, going to shopping. I just enjoy listening to something nice. So what about you? Which one of these mediums do you enjoy the most? And which one of them makes you feel like you're enjoying reading? Because I believe at the end of the day, whatever medium you choose, physical book, ebook, audiobook, or even going to events where people read books for you, at the end of the day, it's just about you enjoying reading. And that's why we're doing videos like this, and that's why we dive into topics like this. It's just because we are passionate about reading. So tell me, which one is your favorite reading medium? See you on the next video.